So 5 key points we're going to be chatting about today. Rumors and whispers. Kevin, tell us about this concept of rumors and whispers.
Sure. Just before we start, look, there's many ways to market, and there's, the trends flow, ebb and tide of time. We still do a little bit of the old school stuff, and obviously, we're right up there on point with, the current mythology of getting the message out there. So with any message, you need to cut through. You need to be a point of difference, and you need to be able to, let people know about your service that you're providing. So rumours and whispers, just a little term I come up with, but when we're setting up a new location, obviously there's construction work involved, and you have, you need to interact with the community. So we just start off with a little bit of an exercise where you just sort of go to different services wearing your shirt. It needs to be a nice, clean shirt that has your logo on it and a little something about martial arts. Not I kill people for a living. It's probably not a good one. So, you want something that's nice, not over the top, not in your face. And you just go in and every time you have a conversation with everyone, you just mention about the new martial arts school that's being built, that you're involved in it. And anyone that's doing work for you, you get them to do likewise. So we start off with a little video, and then we get into your local Facebook groups and start mentioning yourself in the third party. Heard there's a new martial arts school in town. Does anyone know about it? So it's a little bit of third party prompting by, you can have a few students do that for you, and it starts a conversation. So that works really well as well. You're not doing anything untoward. You're just putting your name out there and getting some conversations going. You do attract a lot of different sort of comments, but that's okay because you always don't get involved in any negativity. It's all about positivity. The other thing is just generally just telling people what's going on. Go and introduce yourself to local business groups and get everything involved. So, for example, I was wearing my recent location we opened. I was wearing my shirt as I do. I was filling up with petrol. Now that I probably wouldn't be able to afford to do that, but current prices here in Australia. So we're filling up with fuel, and I basically the attendant just was interested in, saw my shirt and they said, "Oh, I'm interested, Master." I said, "Yeah, we're starting up the new school. Actually, it's just behind over there." And they said, "Oh, great. Okay." And then I just sort of spoke a little bit about what we're doing. I didn't mention come along. I didn't say anything like that. And I said, "Oh, where's a great place to get something to eat?" And they just told me that. Anyway, that person actually took up one of our trial offers and has been a member ever since. So it's interesting, just those little, interactions. Don't try and see yourself. That's the worst possible thing you can do. It's just basically letting people know what you do in a positive way. And another guy at the hardware store, he asked me in particular, he said, "Oh, you do MMA?" And I said, "Well, that is one of our programs we do offer, but it's more of a recreational thing. We have had competitors in the past, but it's not our focus point." He said, "Oh, that's great. I went to another gym and they beat me up." I said, "Well, no, I'm not sure what them. I don't know anyone in the area. Sorry to hear that. Come along." He's been a member since the beginning as well. So, it's just interesting to see how you've got to get rid of the conceptual ideas people have about martial arts and just get out there and just talk to people, have some conversations. And probably the most important thing is always be positive and always look for the opportunity to have that conversation. Don't force yourself on anyone. And then we get our staff to do the same thing. And we're just, for example, we get them to go around and visit businesses. I think we're just going to talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, we are. So we'll go a bit further. So there's just some, simplistic, old school ways for just getting the word out there.
So I'd love to highlight a few things here. We spoke a lot about this. I think I might have actually highlighted. We are that new martial arts school down the road. It sounds very simple, but there's emphasis on that. Kevin, do you mind sharing just the context of why, hey, we are that new martial arts school down the road?
Well, if you use the descriptor as that, okay, that means you're the one. Whereas we are just another martial arts school down the road. Well, you're just another one. So you need to emphasize from the start that we are that one, the one that you need to go to. And it's just a little play on words. It's all about changing your language. It's not about being arrogant or overconfident or, anything. It's just say, yeah, well, we are that new martial arts school down the road. Oh, where's that at? It's off such and such a street or down such and such a road, just opposite such and such. Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Okay. And that's all you need to say. You don't have to push them to say you want to come along, but just get the conversation going constantly every time you're out and about. I do it now, and we've been established in this town for 15 years where I'm at now, and I still have that conversation every time I go somewhere. And it's not about spruiking, it's just about letting people know what you do, just a general conversation.
So on that, right? So if you think of, if you're always wearing your business shirt, your club shirt, and you're always starting conversations, we're that martial arts school down the road. And even if people don't know about you, they kind of feel like they should know you because it's that martial arts school. The other thing is that I just want to highlight is you had a conversation with someone that was potentially, they went to a competitor and they gave you some valuable insight, right? That they got beaten up and it wasn't a good experience. Now, I wonder how many other people had that same experience. So you've just gotten a distinct advantage to differentiate yourself from that club. So what I would be doing as blending the online with the offline is I'd go, okay, well, how do we go now online and differentiate ourselves from that? We've done this often in ads. We talk about how to benefit without pain, how to get fit, how to learn self-defense, get fit without the thing that they don't want. And without is the thing that you just got told, right? Because maybe this is common conversation. So it's worth testing. Well, without we always say without the gym egos or, without being, and obviously you've got to find a polite way of saying it, but without being constantly bashed in the face or beaten up by a bully or, I wouldn't obviously say it that directly, but that's the message you want to get across. That's all I wanted to add to that. Perfect. Kevin, anything else on rumors and whispers before we move on?
I think it needs to be done sincerely as well. You can't be sort of manufactured. You need to, just like it's, you're excited. There's a bit of activity down in, Smith Street. There's trucks coming and going. There's, carpentry work going on. There's plumbing work. There's tradesmen there. And the tradesmen are really good because they always ask you, what are you doing here? And, they tell their friends and lo and behold, a lot of them, they're great referral people, I don't offer them anything. I just tell them this is what we're doing. I might say, when we get started, jump in and have a class, see what you think, to people that are doing the tradesmen that come. And there's a lot of people that come. There's some furniture delivery. There's, delivery men, the delivery ladies. There's the postman rides past and have a yak to him, you just got to keep getting the message out there. That sort of sets the precedent when you start your online campaign. People will go, oh, that's that guy from the martial arts school down the road. I spoke to him the other day, so just that little bit of a conversation. Just keep it. And what happens, we all get caught up in, just the day-to-day running. We neglect this very important part. I'm guilty of it as well. But I just make a concerted effort to keep the momentum going every time I'm out there.
Perfect. So what's coming up for you? Where can you use this little piece of advice? How many conversations and interactions are you having on a day-to-day basis just in your regular routine where you haven't brought up this conversation? Let us know in the chat. Like we've highlighted, conversations, petrol stations. You think of your local coffee shop, again, restaurants, places where you visit. If you'd love to add to the brainstorm here, what comes up for you where you could use this? That would work even for an established dojo. Perfect. Yeah. You could start this today. It's not something that you need to open a new location for. There's something you can implement right now.
You'd be amazed how many people that live in your town, your location, your suburb, your city, wherever you are, and they're probably 1 kilometre from your martial arts school, drove past it 500 times, and they don't even know you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they do. And I love the story. Stacy, my old jiu-jitsu coach, he told me that before he started training, he found the martial arts school he was going to train at, and he said he drove past it for 2 months, up and down, up and down. What if they beat me up? What if they judge me? What if I don't fit in? Just all the self-talk and story that is built up in his mind that caused fear for him to walk in. And a conversation like that with someone could just completely change their perspective. So moving on. Michael, the hardest thing to do for a lot of students in walking through the door for the first time. Yeah, 100%. It's that fear. So the more you can infiltrate your town or your suburb and change that perspective, that's going to carry a long weight. Obviously, this is not a, hey, we got leads tomorrow, but slowly and gradually, somebody might be having a conversation like, hey, I saw that martial arts school down the road. I've thought of it. Oh, but don't they beat you up? No, I actually met the guy and he was X, Y, and Z. Perception changed, right? Because that's the real thing that's holding people back. That's one of the big things I think that's holding people back is, will I fit in, or how they're going to treat me when I arrive? All right.